Anyway, so that made me think, I'm going to be careful about you midges, but you will get it if you persist in possibly stinging me, because some of your lot do. Some of their crew do sting me occasionally, and then you're a bit once bitten, twice shy of them, aren't you?
Yeah, more than once bitten.
So I thought, but like these little things, my mind said, well, look, these are little tiny flary flies, so if you actually just imagine them as angelic, like fairy things, and they're not going to do you any harm, so they're fluffy nothings, you know, they're just, actually the whole bunch of them just want to come and investigate you. Right? How about that? Would you try that one? As a, you know, you're a AAT curiosity student, try that then. I'm thinking, no thanks, but I thought, oh, go on then. So I go amongst them, and they're like flying around me, and you know, and they're sort of investigating, and I'm thinking, some of you are getting a bit too close now. I was relaxing hypnotically, and I was fine, but some were getting a bit close, and then they were getting on the, you know, the big coat, which I put up, and then I sort of thought, oh, it's all right. And actually, I thought, oh, you're all right. You haven't done anything to me. I'm fine. And I was just relaxing. And then when I relaxed, they all backed off, and they disappeared completely. Completely. Like, I thought, they were all over the grass, everywhere, in swarms. And they just disappeared. I think that they come and investigate things like that. They find it kind of interesting. They find people who are a little bit agitated quite an interesting source of investigation.
And if you let it go,
but if your energies change, I honestly believe. I mean, I certainly know it with the dogs. The dogs will bark at anybody that's frightened.
Yes, I know that's about
They come along and it's like they're saying, oh, this person's frightened, bark, 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 as if to say, oh, there's a dodgy one here, they're a bit frightened, you know, keep an eye on them. Whereas if somebody goes, oh, hello, you know, they go licking and rolling and fun, because their energies are totally different.
But I just heard a dad say midges suck your blood, and they do.
Yeah, well, I just said that.
Well, you said they just come to investigate.
Oh, no, didn't I say that sometimes they get you and they...
Sometimes, yes, but I mean...
And I said once bitten, twice shy. So they take their chances.
But once they relax...
But these weren't those sorts, is what I was saying, because I was following my conscience, and it was right. And it was a really interesting experience. If you were there with me and you saw them disappear like that, you'd be like, what? Come on, there must be a few. Yeah, you would. But not... I mean, this happens with these sorts of things happen when you follow your conscience. I could tell you a whole string of them where you actually start to think, oh yeah, it could be, you know, it did. But then I actually realised that they were in the grass, they'd all sunk down into the grass completely. I think they were around in the grass. That's where they disappeared to. They'd all just sank, they weren't interested in me anymore. That's what it felt like.
You weren't interested in where they'd gone to when they'd gone.
To some extent that's true. Yeah, I think you're right about that. Yeah, I think, they must be in the grass. I didn't want to hoof them up again. You know. But no, it didn't. That's right. So all I'm saying is exposure to something. Like, for example, a lot of people got a thing about rain, say. They all rush from madly, like, oh, it's raining. Ah, my God, it's raining. Quick, undercover. But I've sort of watched my tendency to do a bit of that when I'm on a dog walk when it's pouring, but then I thought to myself, well, when I was in America, I quite often was out in the huge drenching rains in the Allegheny Mountains and stuff like that. So, so what? So I just go, so what? It'll dry, it's water now, Or, people are so frightened of things. Poo, right? I have to pick the dog poo up. And I've got this technique where you put the bag inside out, right? Put your hands in like that on the inside of the bag, and then you pick the poop up like that, and then you've got a bag. Right, fine. No, but what if it sometimes catches your finger?
Oh no!
Look at the reactions.
Right. Do you ever remember my marigold story? But I don't like anything like
What was your marigold?
Oh,
yeah.
The rubber gloves.
The rubber gloves.
Touched
the cat box that was then possibly going to be used for washing. I remember them now. I can never forget them. Yeah. So in terms of like dog poo, right? On the same time, my mind was dealing with me on these things, because this is how your mind teaches you. And I'm listening. It says, and when I did it, I was going like that. It said, look at your reaction. Look at your reaction to a little bit of brown substance that is excreted from that animal, as if it's like lethal to you, for God's sake. It's nothing more natural. Earth and poo are about as natural as they could be together, right? It's part of the life cycle. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, but still want it off.
Domestos.
But no, then there's like wipe it in the grass, right? Okay, but then it's still there. Thinking it's still there. Where's that pool of water?
And then somebody you've not seen for ages says, hello, Robert.
Depends whether you like them or not. Which hand?
Yes, it depends, yeah.
Because if you don't like them, you smile. Like they think, oh, you're smiling. For me, it's greater than I've ever seen it before.
That's better give me a present.
Should I put the cap on it?
Yeah, so let me just finish this quickly, the poo story, okay?
Don't put it on just yet, might be.
So then I noticed this tension in me about it that was just totally over the top, like people do. And then I just thought, it's just silly, it's okay, it's quite natural. So my reaction to it is now in balance. It's reasonable rather than excessive and terrified of stuff that's just natural. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. When you're frightened of something that's just natural and you're a truth seeker, then let it come up for you to see it as a challenge and an opportunity to be more curious and get over it, so that you're not constantly avoiding stuff everywhere. Like, you know, people who are frightened of spiders or pigeons. I worked in a park with a lady who was frightened of pigeons and progressively took her. And eventually she had them all around there and she was feeding them, and yet she was freaking out before about any pigeon. She used to plot where all the pigeons hung out in Manchester so that she could avoid those areas. You know, she had a map of where the pigeons hang out. It was like, oh, doo-doo, doo-doo. You know, the Jaws, whatever it is, you know, that music that they play every time she went near the pigeons. So, but by exposure, graded exposure, she was eventually feeding the pigeons out of her hand.
Not a good idea.
Thomas Aquinas style. Who's the other one? Who's that one who feeds the birds? Francis of Assisi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.